Okay, we have the second call numbers, it is total of 37, 15%, owners 12, proxies 1, developer 24 votes. Okay. There is nobody making line right now, I think so. I will call the third call already to make it faster, the meeting, so we don't have to wait another 15 minutes in case that somebody else show up. The ladies, Sarina, our secretary, and Lolita, her helper, will register them. We'll go, I declare the assembly installed. The next point in the agenda is the assignment of clerks. At this time, we have to select 2 clerks from the audience. The only requirement is that the clerk be an owner who resides at the ranch in order to be able to sign the necessary paperwork after the meetings. I need 2 volunteers, please. If you want to help us, raise your hand. And we have to have 2 clerks to make these voting sessions valid. So help us out, please. I have one over there. Second one, please. Okay, we have both of them. Serena, can you write the names of the gentlemen, please, so we can have them? Okay. Thank you for helping us. Your participation is appreciated. The next item on the agenda is to approve the November 2019 Ordinary Assembly meeting minutes as recorded in Mexicali, posted in the HOA. We only have 1 proxy, so that can be checked by our clerks with Serena, and the rest we can vote by raise of hands. All of you that are in favor, well, do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you. Second? All in favor to approve the minutes, raise your hands, please. Okay, this is approved, the motion passed. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce your current supervisor committee. It's Marta Rizek and Gary Lambert. I want to really thank them for their enthusiastic participation in the committee. Marta, would you please present yourself to the group of people?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Marta Rizek. Served, I think this is going on year 6. A couple previous terms. Enjoyed working with everyone and helping them get their questions answered and any issues resolved. Gary is also here with us, not in person, but verbally he is on the phone, and he will be doing our supervisor's presentation. Gary has been a supervisor for the same amount of time, or maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, I think another year longer. Gary has not been able to be here as much this year due to health reasons, but we expect him to be returning in January, and he's always available via email, phone calls, and through Ask the Supervisor. So we communicate regularly, either Zoom or Skype, and he attends our supervisors' meetings via Skype as well. So he's here, but not physically in person today, but he's here for you.
Thank you, Marta. Gary is not present because he is in the United States at this moment.
Let me see. Gary, can you hear us? I can, but I don't have you connected to the speakerphone.
We have to wait for, oh, Christine is over here.
Yes, you connected, so Gary can talk. Michael? He has to call this number. Okay. That's all right, we'll use my phone.
Okay. So the next item in the agenda is
Gary's going to talk.
yeah, no.
Okay.
Mr. Gary Lambert will present the supervisor committee report. He is not here, but he will be doing by a telephone call, and the statistic will appear in the screen.
Am I coming through on the audio? Okay, you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes, since I can't see, I'm glad to join you today. Sorry I'm not there in person, but as Mark said, hopefully be back by the 1st of January. I want to take this opportunity also to thank Roberto and his staff, Lalo and Ricardo, Zoran, Jesus Sunmoss, and also Pat Butler for the work they did, particularly at the range of the home with Las Vegas, with some of the struggles we've had the last couple of years with COVID and some other things that came up. But they've done an excellent job in keeping us afloat during these trying times, and they're to be commended for the work that they've done. I've been remiss in not thanking Martha also, our other supervisor, who has done the union work down here during my unfortunate absence the last several months. You can see on the screen right now our budget for 2022. Roberto will cover this in detail. The only thing I want to mention, and you got this in your mailing also, is that we have a total income increase of 3%, and we also have a total expenses increase of 3%. So fortunately, we break even on our budget, which is great, and a lot of it has to do with the work of the staff, and that's always a lot of working this magic with the financial numbers. Okay, so the slides, the Las Vegas highlights for 2021-2022. Next, there's no increase in our 2022 HOA dues, which is always good news, particularly with the kind of the project completed at some point in time, the development. Next slide. 2022 will be the 8th consecutive year without an increase in dues. So next year, if I'm elected, I aim up to for re-election this year, and I keep Mark and I together as a team. I appreciate your vote, but that's later on in your agenda today. But this will be 2022 will be 8th consecutive year without an increase in dues, and I think that's between Mark and I working on the budget and working with Roberto and his staff, and particularly the work with the HOA staff and the employees have done, and been able to curtail our expenses and increase them in some areas, but kept us on an even keel these last 8 years, which is trust me, it's no easy task. Regardless of what has occurred or hasn't occurred, we're stable, and that's I think in these times, the last several years, particularly with COVID, the last couple of years, it's really been an accomplishment to say at least I know from my perspective and also from Marcus. Next, on the financial, the 2022 versus 2021. Just a few things in there that I said, Roberto will cover this in more detail. In the revenue, our total income is up 3% for 2022. We have 155 new paying owners, up from 153. It's not a huge increase, but 2 new paying owners. Quite a bit of a budget. We've lost several for a variety of reasons, but our legal department and collections are addressing most concerns. Our collections we project for 2022 to be 110,000, up from maybe 98,000 this year. Those are down considerably from some of our estimates before, but that also levels from COVID. So what we've lost in some of these pay members are making up in our collections, and they do a great job with that. And I think that will be depending on COVID and some of the things going on. That hopefully will increase substantially in 2022. Same with our resort fee. We project 65,000 in 2022 versus 64,000 for 2021. That's only $1,000, but we were running close to 100,000 before COVID. And COVID really took a devastating effect, not only on the ranch, but all in people in general who were down there, but also in the winter, because we went for a period of months, when we couldn't rent, and only owners could use the property, or other ways in Mexico. So it really hurt us in the resort fee, and hopefully if things get back to normal, that resort fee will increase substantially. We're going to limit so depending on how COVID and the winter weather and all that affects, has a tremendous effect on how we do with our budget. Just seems those of you who were in there during COVID, particularly the bad part of COVID last year, with the restaurants closed and everything else. And, so it's tough. It's pretty tough to keep things going. But Roberto and his staff have done an excellent job, including, in all fairness, including our developer, Pat Butler. They've all gone above and beyond to keep the ranch a viable entity, and particularly in the conflict section of it. On our expenses, the total expenses are 3% for 2022. So our revenues up 3%, our expenses are up 3%. The general maintenance increases 7%, and small pool security is up 18%. Our indirect costs are up 2%, and our administrative and debt services are 1%. Now, that looks like a huge increase percentage-wise, which is offset by some of the reductions we've had in some of our other general expenses. But we're only talking about a $13,000 total increase in our budget from 2021 to 2022. So it looks like a large amount percentage-wise, but actually it's very small when you look at the total increase. We're only talking about 13,000, and we're making that up in our revenue. Next. Our PIN debt reduction program, we continue to develop our agreement to credit default assessments where we now pay the management company PIN. And we got into this to recall several years ago when I talked with the developer about us receiving some credit back for our default assessment, and he was amenable to that, and which was a big step. We have about $550,000 for 10, and we paid that back substantially to the extent that we projected hopefully by the end of 2022 we'll be debt free. And I might say that Pat could agree to put whatever we paid towards our assessment against our debt. And as I said, our debt was $550,000, and that debt also carried a requirement for it to be charged 19% in, but Pat never did that. So we got about interest free, and we're almost debt free with the give back to our golf assessment. So I think that's a win-win for both of the golf and for us. The golf assessment, ratifying the golf assessment for a 2-year period comes up for later on in our program today. I'd like for Roberto at some point in time after I'm finished here to cover the highlights of the changes in that golf assessment. I'm not sure if we have any photos of the golf course, but it has improved dramatically. Those who play golf with any regularity obviously have seen that. Those of us who do not play golf probably know where some of the improvements that have been made in the golf course. And to the extent I think this last golf tournament we had 28 teams that played in the golf tournament, so a great turnout in complimentary reports from those players and others. How nice the course is. So that's great in light of our budget restrictions, and also getting people having them be able to play. So I think we've done very well in that. That concludes my presentation. Other than the fact that after mine, we need to ratify appointing Martha for the 2-year term, which I'm sure we all agree will be a great thing to do. And the election of one supervisor member and soon next week. Or at least I'm one of them. There may be, I don't know about the only one, but regardless, I appreciate your debate. As I said, Martin and I have been together about 7 years now, and I think we complement each other, and I think we've done pretty good, particularly with our dues, and also with almost putting away heavily with the $550,000 debt that Martin and I inherited. We weren't part of that indebtedness that occurred prior to our being elected supervisor. So I think that's very important, and I know that Martin and I are very happy about what we have done and what we continue to do. And I think the Roberto and his staff will be well pleased with our participation. I've also ratified the budget, which is neutral, and we will ratify the contract for the golf assessment that we pay $489 a year for a period of 2 years, which I know we all have different opinions about the golf course. It doesn't seem that anybody's neutral, but in fact it is a tremendous asset to Eldorado Ranch, and particularly to Bobby Tommy Del Mar in Las Vegas on our side of the highway. And it's to be a tremendous asset. At some point in time, but still it is now, the property values, but particularly the property values at some point in time when they come back. And I think there's starting to see a lot of activity in sales of property, not only in Ranch, but particularly in and around San Diego. So I feel good about the financial look at the outlook for this section of Mexico. And we anticipate that barring any unforeseen circumstances that will continue. If you have any questions, I'm not sure if I can hear you, but I know Martha can answer them, and I'm sure Roberto can answer anything to say, anything you have. Again, it's good to be with you. Audio, we have to do this also video, but we ran into a couple of technical glitches yesterday when we tried it out, so unfortunately I wasn't able to take care of that video, but I hope in the future that I won't have to. But I think we're at the point where we're close approaching where we can do video and audio conferencing. We get the person smart and physically have to reach. I think we're as well with the products. So that's something in the future that we didn't work out today. But again, thanks for listening to me again, and I hope to see you before too long. Okay, thanks for
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for connecting with us. Well, you hear all the commentaries from Gary. I think so he made an excellent presentation. If you have any questions, can make them with Martha or me. Okay. The next point in the agenda is to ratify the appointment of Martha Resak in 220 for 2 years due to no GA meeting. As we didn't have the last year GA, the Martha Resak term as a supervisor come to an end. Like we have to keep going with the supervisors committee. She was confirmed for that year, but we have to ratify the second year right now. To make it fast, I will ask you to make a raise of hand if you want to ratify Martha in the position she is in. Okay? Thank you very much. It passes. The next one is an election of one supervisory committee member according with Article 66 for a 2-year period. I received one candidacy by mail. The candidacy is for Mr. Gary Lambert, who is not here, but he has been serving in the committee for several years. I think so that most of you know him, and he has been doing a very good job. He requested us if we can do this presentation. We work with Christine and with our team, and we make it happen. So I think so we will vote by ballot. In accordance with our rules and regulations, I have to ask and open the floor for any candidacy from the floor if somebody wants to present themselves as a candidate, or if you want to designate a candidate that can be elected. I make the question right now. There's no candidacies from the floor? Okay, I close the floor for candidacies. So right now we will proceed by vote. Same way, by raise of hands. I think so it's faster. So those in favor to re-elect Mr. Gary Lambert for another 2 years period. Okay, thank you. He passes again, so he is still as a supervisor of the Committee of Las Villas. Okay, the next one is the presentation of the expenses of the 21 budget and ratify the 2022 budget by voting. I want to confirm there is not a dues increase in 2021. Okay, I'll go to the floor. Thank you, Christine. Okay. Here we have the first page of all the budget. In income, we have this year 155 owners registered paying dues. So in 2020, the last budget that we have authorized by the GA meeting at that year, we have $550,000. In this projected year, we are $6,001,000, and we are projecting $6,001,000 again for 2022. Estimated collections, we have a good year into 2020 for 145,000, and right now we are at 98,000. Can you make it a little bit cheaper? This 98,000 this year, and in 2022 is 110,000. Oh, and the people in the back is not seeing it accurately. A little bit more, can you do it? Oh, it's too much. So we have to get one back. Can you see that one?
That's better?
No?
That's better.
Okay. This is the biggest we can have it right now. Okay, the total income of the year of 2020 was $753,500. The projection for this year is $763,000. And the budget for 2022 is $726,000. The budget 22 to 20 is 3% up only. Expenses in administration, the insurance, which is a high part, it was $121,082. In the budget of 2021. 121,082, and in the 2022 is 121,082. Bank fees, 2,300, 1,996, 2,300. License and plates, 100, 93, and 100. Guest services, 12,970, 13,073, 13,984. You can ask, for example, why guest services is increasing. Is because there has been a lot more rentals, so we are having more people coming into the office. Some of this is extra time, and at the height of the season, we hire another person to help there. General maintenance, salaries 30,000, 32,610. Next year, 35,228. Sewage treatment plant, this is one of our big expenses. 60,102, 62,122 for this year, and 63,285. This is true because we have more rents, so we have more water to be taken out to the cesspool plant. Maintenance. 9,225, 9,189, 9,225. Utilities, this is light, electricity, water. 9,242. Oh, sorry. Yeah, utilities, 26,900. 2,800, 400 for this year, and 2,800, 600 for next year. Yes, I was reading the IVA cost, which is a tax. Total general maintenance is 154,769, 164,477 for this year, and 165,595 for next year. All security. Salaries 28,198. This year, 29,316. Next year, 33,410. Uniforms, 800, 800, 800. The tax doesn't change, so we have 29,062, 30,180 for this year, and 34,281 for next year. In the cost contracts, there is the medical. It's the garbage company and CAM. Those are the main contracts we have. All of these, it's in the website. There are 8 pages going in detail by each one. So you can see them there in order to not make this meeting too long. But if you have questions, you can send them to Marta, to Gary, and to me, and we'll be happy to answer to you. Let me say that there's no budget, there's no increase in this budget. There is an increase in salaries for the people, 8%, and this is due because the inflation in Mexico at this time, just closing September, is 6.1. So in reality, the people is getting just 1.9 over the inflation, which is not too much, but it helps them out of the cost of living. So this is the presentation of the budget, the first main page, which is the most important. Another thing that I want to comment to you is that the resource fee is very important because it helps to outpay the sewer treatment plant cost. And since we have the border closed for the whole year, this year, we have been having a lot of people from Tijuana, Mexicali, Ensenada, Rosarito. So during the season, which is also the summer, the condos rentals have been full capacity. So this has helped to pay out the cost of this treatment plant. So that's very good. Now that they are opening the border, this will become a little bit less for next year maybe, but we have good expectations that many people who hasn't come to San Felipe in the past will have come in because get to know it. And some people that used to come when they were kids and they just start going to some other places, they have to come back and they renew their love for San Felipe. So we'll still have people coming back. So this is the presentation about the budget. Now we will go by ballot to approve it.
Ciao.
So when I forget, I am the first one to suffer. Sorry. Okay, would you please get ready your ballots so our personnel from the activities can pick them up, please. Sarina, ¿cuántas personas entraron después de la tercera llamada? Una todavía. Can you go with Sarina so you can count the ballots, please? Please, go with her. Acá hay más destinado. Okay. It's good. You have first, Marcia? Okay, we will wait a little short time so we can have the numbers. Okay, while we wait for the numbers for the voting of the budget, the next point in the agenda is the approval of the delinquent list to be posted in public praises around the ranch. We have been receiving commentaries about this for several times, so we decided to include it for voting. Like we are here already, those in favor, just raise your hands please to put all the people who hasn't paid their dues during several years. We will put public lists in public places. So those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, so we will make them public. Thank you. Okay. Gary was talking about the golf course. We just had a golf tournament last week and we received 92 players, which is one of the highest number of participants that we have ever had in the tournament. It was very pleasant to hear from them that right now the conditions of the golf course is the best that we have had in years. They even compare it to Mexicali, and they say that our course is a lot better than Mexicali is right now. As a matter of fact, Mexicali closed its doors to redo a lot of their holes. So we are pleased to hear that. And you can see in the back here that there are spaces for the golf carts, the private golf carts that were constructed by the owners and in liaison with the developer. So the golf course is coming up, and it's very pleasant to see that the golf assessment has been working fine. And for sure, like Gary said, this keeps the value of the properties up. And another point that I can tell to you, the fire sales that we were having for the last 2 years, right now they have stopped. Right now the prices are starting to go up again, slowly but steady. So this is a very good notice too. I think so we are almost ready to have the numbers. They already finished counting them. Yeah, Simon is bringing them in a minute. The budget is approved by 11 votes in favor, no disapprove, and no votes approved with changes. So it is approved. The motion passes. Thank you. Right now, the next point in the agenda, which is the last one we have, is to review and ratify proposed contract extension for Golf Course 7 of $469 per year for a period of 2 years. So, like I was saying to you, these are the facts that we are seeing at the golf course. The golf committee has been meeting constantly. The golf committee is formed from 3 different parts. One is the developer, second one is the HOA, and the third one is owners. The owners reviewed that the contract that we have between the HOA and the company performs. They watch and they see that the expenses are correct, that the money that was collected is spent in what it has to be, not in other things that are not approved. So this is very fairly. We have players from the golf committee members of the golf committee that play daily, so they can attest to the quality of the golf courses. And they just don't play here. They go around playing in tournaments in the United States and in Baja. So they can compare and see the real condition of the course. So right now is the moment to go to the voting. I think so we should make it by ballot too. Would you please? Yes, Martha?
Question, please, Roberto. It's my understanding that the approval of this assessment was based on a change in the contract from previous years. Are you saying that we're going to approve the same contract as was previously approved?
You know, Martha, that the changes are not big. I have here the amendment. I didn't bring my glasses.
I'm sorry, I just think that it would be appropriate for any changes to be highlighted so people understand any differences between the current contract that they're voting on and the previous contract that they voted on. What?
The amendments here, these are the main things that change. So who's going to be
Okay. The amendment as follows. Clause 10C is amended to holders of passes are allowed to use or sell their pass in accordance with rules, golf pass rules and golf course rules that are attached as Exhibit 1 to this amendment or any other subsequent adjustments to the rules made by the Golf Committee to ensure adherence to the intent of the pass program. The pass may be used by the owner or owners or anyone who resides at the home or designated family members and guests. The owner A pass is good for 1 swipe per day and up to 3 guests per day. Renters are not allowed to use an A pass. If the A pass holder has family guests staying in their La Ventana condo home, they are not present and want these guests to use their golf pass privileges, they must contact the Golf Pro Shop in advance. A guest is a person that does not pay any rental monies. Clause 10E is amended to private golf carts are permitted subject to an approval inspection by a golf committee member. Clause 10F is amended to regular meetings will be held between the HOA Committee and La Ventana Del Mar management to review the following, but not limited to the areas of budgets, golf course maintenance, future projects, committee review of the course condition, and other committee recommendations. Clause 11, paragraph 2 is amended as follows. If either party becomes delinquent making its yearly payment of $375 or up to the amount received by the HOA golf assessment, the golf committee will review the budget to see how to remedy any shortfall by either party. At no time will being delinquent make the contract null and void. Okay, those are the changes.
Okay, these were the changes that were amended and that were agreed. So for all you to know, I was expecting questions, so I wrote the contract itself and the amendment. Anyway, both of them are at the website. You can check them, read them with tranquility, and if you have questions, you can redirect them to me, and I will answer to you through the golf committee too, because this is the contract is with the developer and the HOA. So this is the information I have on it. So right now, is that okay with your question, Martha?
Yes, thank you, and I don't know if anybody else has any questions about the changes, but I think it's appropriate that those are identified. People have an opportunity to ask questions. It's great.
Yeah, I say that. If somebody has questions, if not at this moment, if they want to read it deeply and with tranquility, they can make them. Yeah. Right here, there is a micro you can ask.
I'll just talk. So my issue think it's the golf committee that's putting these on. So I want to know, am I going to get a pass with my picture on it next year, in addition to my wife, who's the co-owner of our condo on 42? Is she going to get a golf pass with her picture on it too, so we don't have this hassle next year?
Yes, it is not part of the golf committee. It was a mistake from the golf shop. I can tell you that. It was, we don't deal with that. It's just, you can talk with the golf manager. He will fix that.
Well, who's the golf manager?
Aaron Cornell. Aaron, he is right here at the restaurant.
Oh.
At the restaurant, you can ask for him, you can talk to him, and he will fix it.
Okay.
Roberto, you tell him after this meeting. Tell Ron, you tell Ron, this gentleman,
Yeah.
after this meeting, to take
Okay. No problem.
I have a suggestion. I think that this particular situation is not something that Pro Shop needed to deal with. They were just looking at the past. But when the golf passes are issued via the HOA, I think that we need to have a way of accommodating multiple owners of one unit, that they could have their pass, or could have a pass with both of them in the same picture on the same, it's.
Only one number is different.
Yeah, I mean, they're both owners, and if the pass is issued for the lot number, you count how many times that lot number pass is used, that ought to meet the requirement for the utilization, I would think, regardless of which pass is presented with which picture. And I don't mean to complicate things, and just try to simplify the process of this, doesn't have more people.
As a matter of fact, this is the first time that I hear a problem like this. It has never happened before, but there is always a first time. So, in order to get your pass, you can go to customer service, which is the office that gives the passes. You can talk with Sarina or one of her co-workers there. She is in charge of the department, and I can assure she will give you your pass in accordance with rules and regulations of the golf committee and the contract. So this is the first time ever that we have had that kind of a problem. But there is new people too at the golf shop, and these things are happening. So I will tell Aaron to contact you too. Ricardo, can you take his name of the gentleman, please? So we will do that. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Well, now we can go to the approval by voting. We will go to the voting of the assessment. We'll do it by ballot. Please fill them out and pick them up, please. Ricardo, ves si está Aaron y dile que de una vez por todas. this fall is a little bit crazy. Fall in the morning and hot now. I want to make an announcement. For next year's, we are going to make the gap between the Planetana del Mar meeting in the morning closer to the second one at Las Villas. So you can be free. So we will do that next year, so it will be faster. Okay. The proposal for $469 assessment for 2 years term, it's approved by 10, approved, 1 is approved without change, 0, so it is approved. They were 2 invalid votes. It's a word. Okay, this closes our meeting. This closes the business for the ordinary assembly. Is there a motion to close the meeting? Yes, we'll close the session and then the questions come after. Yes. Okay, we have a motion to close the session. Yes, okay. Second? Okay. All in favor say yes, please. Okay, thank you. Now I open the floor for questions. Please come to the... I don't know that because that's part of the developer's side. It's not the HOA.
Okay, well I just thought you know.
I really don't know when, but I think so. Pat is expecting to have the...
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you.
The burnt condos, is an HOA issue, and they are waiting for the settlement from the insurance company. Not the rest of the condos.
I got it.
The rest of the condos will be underway as soon as we complete the refinancing we're working on. Okay, but the burnt condos are totally an insurance issue. It has nothing to do with the developer. Thank you. And has everything to do with HOA and HOA insurance on the condo. Just to clarify.
Yes, thank you for it.
Thank you, Pat, for clarifying. You are totally right. I misunderstood the question. Yes, it is an HOA issue. As a matter of fact, we have been fighting with the insurance company for 2 years since the first one, and 1 year with the second one. It has been very hard because we have 7 fires in total. So when the 6th fire occurred, we were still insured for the next year. So we have covered the 6th year and the 7th year. But the company immediately said, you know, that's it. I am not insuring anymore. So they stopped insuring us. Right now we are in the process of getting the settlement of the money for the 2 different fires. After that, we have to go out and find a new insurance company. We have to go through 7 companies. 5 say, no way, we were not insuring any wood structure. The 6th one say, yes, I will insure you, but it's like 3 times the prime that we were paying. So the real thing is, I want insurance you. That was the same thing. The 7th one say, okay, I will do it. But all the fires have been caused by rental properties. So we'll charge you the premium for the normal condos who are not being rented, and we will charge you an additional prime for the rental program condos. That was the only way that we can get insurance, and that's how we are working right now. And Pat is totally right. It is an HOA issue, and as soon as we receive the first check, the first condo will go down and then we'll rebuild it. So that's the answer. And the second one will be in the same way. As soon as we finish the deal with the insurance company, we will tear down whatever has to be teared down, and we will reconstruct that. And I am sorry for the confusion. I apologize for that. Yes, sir.
John Westford, condo, 142. My condo, my garage floor is really breaking up. Is that my responsibility? Is that HOA's responsibility?
It is now your responsibility because the inside, all the inside of the condos,
Including the garage?
yes, the HOA only takes care of the outside of the building, including the railings, the metal railings in the entrance and in the back. The only one that is not in our area, in all the condos that have the 2nd floor, the one that is in the main room going out, that's the access of that one is from the inside, so it's considered an inside area. The rest, we take care of that. We paint the building, we fix the tiles in the roof, we repair all the iron in the area. But yeah, the tile floor in the condos or in the garage is not the HOA.
Question 2.
Yes.
You took away the grills.
Yeah, barbecues.
But you said you stored them somewhere.
Yes.
Are they available to?
Yes. You just got to contact. That one is in the control of Lupita Martinez, who is in, over there at her office. You can contact her and she will give it to you.
Question 3. We know propane grills are off limits.
Yes.
But you have an electric grill.
No. The company, insurance company say not any kind of burning fat or whatever in the wood.
Okay. Now I know.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
We did build grills down by the beach.
Yes, you can use those ones. And we will do some more. And we will be doing some more next year. Any other question? Yes, sir.
You supply charcoal. You supply the charcoal. For the grill.
Charcoal.
No!
Okay.
No way! Yes, Martin.
I would just like to say that, personally, I would like to see as much participation in our proxies that we receive. You know, they would need to be originals, they would need to have the right name matched with property number and so on, go to a specific recipient to be officially recorded. I mean, there would be a whole process that would need to accompany this, and I think everybody would be concerned that there were no loopholes that people could circumvent the legitimacy of an absentee ballot. It wasn't until, I think it was 2005, that the government of Mexico actually allowed absentee ballots in their international government elections. And prior to that, Mexican citizens who lived outside of their country could not vote unless they physically traveled back to Mexico for the election day. So that all changed in 2005. So I think that gives us a good understanding that the government would agree to this. We just need to put steps in place that would ensure a legitimacy of a process for us. My goal is to have as much input from as many owners as possible to participate in our meetings, our elections, to make sure their voices are heard. I think that's important, and I think absentee ballots would give us another step towards meeting that goal. So we're working on that. If anybody has any input or suggestions of support, I would love to hear. Did you have a question?
In principle, I think I can support the idea of absentee ballots, but I think, I might speak for other people, I don't know. I think we'd want to see a little bit more about how you would mitigate the risk of getting around the process. It's all about having the right checks in place to make sure there's, exactly. There's a lot of potential for that, as we can see with some elections in general that have happened recently. I won't get into the particulars of it.
You're not going to name any states, right?
Pardon me?
You're not going to name any states.
No, I'm not going to name any states or locations, but the opening up that opportunity is a great idea, but it also opens up the opportunity for cheating, getting around the process. Not that anybody here would do that, but we just need to make it not that easy to get around the process and have the right checks and balances. And thanks, Pat. And I would be, probably your next question, Martha, but I would be willing to have a conversation with you and others to kind of brainstorm how we might help you do
You're reading my
that.
mind again.
You got to be careful about that. I'm getting better and better at that. Thanks, Martha.
Sure. Dick Peterson, he's the EDR supervisor. Like to comment?
Yeah, we know Dick.
Yeah, all right, so having just a proxy ballot has been thrown in my cross since I became a supervisor. All right, working with Ed Jones, he has a whole protocol that we have written on how to go forward with the absentee ballot option. I sat with Ruben Contreras, the notario downtown. I showed him the rules and regulations and everything else that stated the proxy. And citing what Martha had said, the Mexican government has finally allowed a absentee ballot in their elections. Ruben's opinion was, as long as we provide the proxy option, we can have the absentee ballot. So and we made out the form and everything else. The HOA attorney was contacted, and that person said, just because it doesn't state it in the rules and regulations, doesn't mean that we can do it. The notarial wouldn't defend you if there was any litigation. She would have to. And so that's where it backed away this year. And so hopefully, going forward, we can get this thing done. I don't know if it would come to sending out the proposed protocol to everybody. That might open a big can of worms. Because everybody's going to have their own opinion, whatever. Well, but we went through this whole thing with many different updates and options and going through this thing. And so it includes, like Martha had indicated, it includes where there would be a date as to when the absentee ballot would be sent in. All right, probably different than the proxy, because the absentee ballot, like Martha said, we would have to verify signatures, the whole shooting match. The absentee ballots would be tabulated unbeknownst to anybody, so they could, because we're anticipating a heck of a lot more people using an absentee ballot, because a proxy can only be 2 people. A lot of the people, they don't know 2 people to send there. Martha's been proxy coordinator this past year, but it becomes, you know, a problem. She could do it this year because she wasn't up for election.
Right.
Right? Ed Jones did it last year because he wasn't up for election. And so, you know, you got to pass the buck. So we're hoping to get this thing done.
I think the big thing is that if we as a community get to see and hear and go through a session where you tell us what you've done and all the hoops you've jumped through and all the check boxes that you've checked, I think that'll go a long way to easing
and
people's
it could be presented at the next town hall, or, you know, sometime, you know, next year, you know, going forward. Hopefully that we can have a town hall meeting again.
I know, right?
But when I presented it yesterday, and I asked people who would be an objection to it, and there wasn't anybody that raised their hand. So I don't know. Yeah, we got a lot of people on the outside, and I don't know who threatened litigation against the HOA. I don't know.
Anyway, it's something that we're working on.
Yeah, that's great.
And
Well, because absentee ballots are relatively new in Mexico, I mean, the attorney that we do have, Maria Scoro Carreras, she's also a university law teacher. She's very briefed on Mexican constitutional law. And so she just says, let me be sure before I give you an opinion letter that what you're doing is correct, so it can't be challenged. And if we can get it correct, then I'll give you the green light to go ahead. And we have no problem with it. And what the gentleman talked about, yeah, we're a small enough community and group, and my people are pretty anal anyway, so I know they'll check off everybody that wants to submit an absentee ballot to make sure that they're in good standing, et cetera, to accept the ballot, the vote. So we don't have a problem with that. One other thing I wanted to just quickly mention, and maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, Roberto, you may have mentioned this, but I know we have a small group, but we've said it before the other groups, that the HOA does have an independent audit done every year, okay, and it's done by outside auditors, and that audit is posted on the website. So just to make sure, I mean, our supervisors do a great job, and we're very attentive. Every month there's a meeting that goes on for 4 hours that a lot of you would want to attend. and different viewpoints are brought up at that meeting, and some challenges are brought up once in a while. But it's a very interactive group, and I think they do a great job. And then at the end of the year, we do audit everything. All the HOAs are audited, so we do have an independent audit out there. But they do a good job of looking over the owners, you know, where your money's, how it's being spent, et cetera, and I appreciate you guys all being here. Somebody left a little black book up here, and I saw some names in it, so if it's somebody's, I don't want to let this get lost. So, but anyway, it's kind of interesting. So, have a good afternoon. God bless you guys. And next week is your festival weekend. So, if more questions, then meet in our meeting.
I just have one last comment, please.
I wanted to thank Roberto for his presentation, the rest of the staff that's in attendance here, and Pat. I would also like to particularly thank Christine Buffalo for her assistance in our presentation materials with the slideshow and implementing Gary's participation verbally today. So thank you very much, Christine.
Another thing I want to say is I want to thank our interns. Thank you for the good job done. Thank you very much. And thank you to all of you for being here. See you in February next time. Thank you.